Yes, once again I'm telling this, the function is used to minimize your program when the calculation has to be predefined in the function statement, and wherever we want those function we can call directly the function. The lines of code, no need to repeat those lines of code in your program. For reducing your lines of code in your program, we are going by the function. The fruitful function is the means that whenever we have studied the prototype, function prototype with argument, without argument, with return type and without return type. So four types of prototype has been studied. In that, whichever function is returning a value to the program, that is known as the fruitful function. Right? Clear about this? Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Yes. So that is, and another one is the basic thing, that is a void function. We already we a function that perform action but does not return any value. So if the function is returning a value, that function is known as a fruitful function. If the function that perform the action but does not return the value will be printed inside the function itself. In that cases, that function is mainly called as the void function. If the function is returning a value, that function is called as a fruitful function. If function is not returning the value, the output will be coming inside the function itself, is known as the void function. So these are the two difference between this. And now coming to the return value. So return keyword are used to return the value from the function to the main program. So example, if I am giving over here, if I am mentioning return A, what will be the meaning over there? How many values I am returning?
One value, sir.
Yes. So likewise, if your program having more than one values, or if your program having any variables or an expressions you want to return, you can return by using the return keywords and from the function to the main program. So here in the second line, I am returning two variables, and third line I am returning three variables. It means that I am returning three variables with some of the particular values over there, right? So if I am returning A, B, and C, I am returning A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2, C is equal to 3. Somewhat I am giving a value after doing the calculation in the function, and I am returning this variable to the main program. So you can return the expression also. And this case, you can return directly a value to the main program also. So these are all the return example of the return function. And we have discussed about the parameters and argument, right? Positional parameter, keyword parameter, default parameter, variable parameter. I will share you the second unit slide with you. You go with that, and this four topics has been discussed, and the example problem also discussed about this four topics, right? So that is known as the parameters and argument. How we are passing those parameters and argument in a function. It may be a default parameter, keyword parameter, or a positional parameter, or a variable length parameter. So these four types has been discussed in the previous classes, previous unit itself. So kindly refer the previous unit for this particular topic. And next, coming to the local and global scope. So can you tell me what is meant by a global and local in a general term? Don't go with the programming word. Can you tell me a global and local? Differentiate between these two.
Sir, local scope means a variable declared inside the function, sir.
Good. Global means?
Global means the variable declared outside the function or anywhere in the program, sir.
Yes. Whether the global variable can be used inside the function?
Yes,
Can
sir.
be
It
used
can be used
anywhere.
inside the function, sir.
Yes. So this is the thing, local scope, in the sense, if you are declaring any variable or a value inside the function, and that particular variable and values will be shifted, or it can be used for a calculation only inside the function. If you are coming out of the function and if you are assigning some of the variable value, then it will become an error in a program. And now coming to the global scope, it means that you have already predefined in a main program that you are assigning one of the variable and you are giving value to the one of the variable, and wherever you need those variable, you can use those variable values in all the part of your program, right? Yes, I will go with one example here. So what is my local variable? So what is my global variable here?
A.
Okay, then go with this. So which line will be executed first?
Fifth line, sir.
No.
Line 2.
Yes.
Sir, 10th line.
Yes. So why it means?
Sir, because the 10th line is the main function called from the sub function, sir.
Yes. So it means that, so this is, so def, here I am declared one function over here and I am giving a function name, and whether it is a argument passing and with return value, which prototype it will be?
Sir, argument passed with the return value.
Whether I am returning a value over here? Where,
Yes,
which are
sir,
the,
12th line print A.
no. So you can see here that if suppose I am giving a value that S is equal to sub, okay, and here I want to mention that return yes, right. In this case, I am not passing any argument inside the function and I am getting the return value. Fine. So this print A option will be, it was a global variable that was there. I have already declared a global variable here, that is A is equal to 50, and I am printing that particular A value in the final step. Fine.
Yes, sir, clear, sir.
If suppose I am giving a print of yes, then what it means is I am not passing any argument, but I am getting a return value here. So if suppose I am giving here as a comma b and I am giving here as 2 comma 3, then what it means is I am passing a variable, passing a value with the return value, passing an argument with the return value. It means that it will execute the first 11th line and it will search for a sub function. Okay. Add function, and what it will do is it will check how many arguments have been written over here. It means 2 and 3, and it will go to assign that A is equal to 2 and B is equal to 3, and it will do this operation and it will return the value to S, and after returning the S, it will print the S value over here. So in this lines of code, what I am doing is I am passing an argument and getting the return value, right?
Yes, sir, clear, sir.
Yes, but in this program, whether I am passing any arguments here?
No, sir.
No. Yes, good. So I am not passing any argument. Simply I am calling the function here, right? Simply this function has been called in the 10th line, and what it will do is it search in the programming part and go to the sub function, and it will do this operation. Whether I am return any return value in the sub function?
No, sir.
No, it means that I am getting a value and doing the calculation and printing the result in the sub function. So it means that this is the void function. Whatever we have done, we have given is the void function, a function that perform action but does not return any values. So here you can see here we are doing some of an action over here, but it not returning any values. So it means that it is a void function, right? So here the first line will be executed. You can take this. First you can do add. Oh yes. So here the 10th line has been executed, right? First. Yes. Which
Yes,
line
sir.
will be executed first? So 10th
10th
line will
line,
be,
sir.
yes, 10th line will be executed first. What it will do is it will search the function name in your program that your any add function is represented in your program. If yes, it will directly go to the add function. In the add function statement, what we have done is we have declared one variable name as B and given the value as 20. And the second line, we have declared a variable name C, and we are doing some of an arithmetic operation that A plus B. So what it means? What it means? C is equal to A plus B.
Sir, adding of A and B, it stored in a value C, sir.
Yes, so we are going to add A and B, and we are going to store the value in the C. So here what is done is, in the local variable, we have, in the local scope, we have discussed, we have defined that B is equal to 20, and here the A variable will, we are not declare any A variable value inside the function, but the case we have declared the A value outside the function, that is 50, and it will do that C is equal to 50 plus 20, and we will get a result of C is equal to 70, right? Yes. Yes. So it will take we are not declare any variable, A variable here. So if it is not declared, it will directly go to the global variable, and if it will take the A value and it will substitute in that operation, and it will produce the result as C. So first output what we will get is, we will get an output as 70, right? Yes.
By adding we get 70, subtracting we get 30. 20, sir.
So here you are telling this.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So the first output we will get as 70, and after getting the output, it will go to the 11th line and it will search for a sub function over here. And here we have assigned another local variable. So here same variable value has been assigned as B is equal to 20, and here the value has been changed, B is equal to 30, and it come to the C, and this global variable automatically take the value from the global variable from 50 minus 30, and C, it will produce the result as 20. So it will print the result as 20. So first output you will get as 70, and second output we will get the result as 20. So after completion of the 11th line, what it will do is, it will check the remaining part of the program whether any operations are done over there. So we are having a print operation over here, print of A, and it will search for an A variable over there, and it will take the value and it will produce the result. So you can see here, first operation we have got the 70. It means that we have declared the local variable, global variable outside the subfunction. So it can take the values from the outside the subfunction and it will produce the result. Same as like that, we have declared the local variable for addition, B is equal to 30 and B is equal to 20 and B is equal to 30 in two different functions, and it will produce and it will perform an operation and it will produce the result. And finally, we are printing the global variable alone, and it will print the global variable alone. If suppose I am not getting this line, so if suppose I am not writing this first line, then what will happen now?
Sir, it came as error because we didn't assign the A value.
Yes, so it means that if suppose I am giving A is equal to 30 here in the local variable, whether two function will get an output or only one function will get an output?
Sir, 11th and 12th line will be get output, sir.
12th line will be getting an output in the 12th line?
No, sir, we didn't assign A value in the 12th.
Yes, it means that, so if suppose I am assigning A is equal to 30 here, what it happen is, A is represented as a local variable of a particular function add. Only inside this function, this A value can be used over here. So if suppose I am running here, the first add function will be executed. So you can see here, name A is not defined. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So if I want to same A, I want to represent here that A is equal to 30. Okay. So if suppose I am giving this, the output will be coming or not?
Yes, sir. It will get output.
Yes, it means that it will go to the add the process will be happen, and it will print the result as 30 plus 20 is equal to 50, and 30 minus 30 is equal to 0. So the operation has been came. You just imagine that for this two function, you are having only one input, that a is equal to 30. Same input I am given over here, right? A is equal to 30 and a is equal to 30. It means that we no need to go with these two lines of code. You can declare directly a global variable here, and you can now the program will be running or not.
Yes, sir, it will run, sir.
Yes, it will run because we have declared the global variable here, global variable in the main program itself, and we are calling the main global variable values inside the sub function. It means that if you are not declaring the global variable, instead of we are using two lines in your program, we can use only one line in your program, and you can eliminate one of the line from your program. So this is a simple program. When you are going 1000 to 1500 lines of code, then it will be very much affected your lines of code. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is one of the things. So this will be very easy to understand also. So I will give you a definition about this function composition. So function composition is the ability to call one function from within another function. So what we have normally done is, as of now, what we have discussed is, you have calling the function, and particular function operation will be executed with return value or without return value, and the output will be printed. So as of now, we have discussed these types of function. So now coming to the function composition, it is a way of combining functions such a result of each function is passed as an argument of the next function. In other words, the output of one function is given as an input of another function is known as a function composition. So just keep that in mind. The output of one particular function is the input of the another function.
Sir, yesterday we have done, I think.
Yes?
Yesterday we done this method, I think.
Yesterday, in which program? Day before yesterday, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can you tell me the program name? What we have discussed? So I will explain you one of an example over here. Then if it is the same program, then tell me, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So it means that the output of one particular function is then input of another function. So what we have discussed in the previous functions and all, what we have done is, we will call the function, we will execute the statement, and it will produce the result with the return value or without return value. So in this function composition, what will happen is, we are going to call one particular function and do the operation based on the output. Another function will be calling, and another output will be generated. Fine. So we will go with this. So how many functions I have declared?
Two functions.
So can you tell me the function name?
Addition and multiplication.
So add and mul, ADD and MUL. So whether I am passing an argument value with return type or without return type, in which prototype it will be coming over there?
Argument passing, sir.
Argument passing, whether I am returning a value.
Yes, sir, returning a value.
Yes, good. So it means that I have declared two functions. So which line will be executed first?
Fourth line.
Which line?
Seventh line.
Seventh line. Can you be a little bit louder? Who is this?
Sir, Vignesh, sir. It's seventh line.
Vignesh, little bit louder, Vignesh. I'm not audible with you. Little bit
Sir,
louder,
seventh
okay?
line, sir.
So seventh line, yes. Seventh line will be executed. What will happen is, seventh line C is equal to, we are calling a function that add of 10, 20. So where it will go is, it will search the function name as add, and it will go there, and here we are given two values, argument values. So here we have passed two arguments. So it means that it will take A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 20 and do this operation. That is, C is equal to 10 plus 20, right? So what is the C value now?
30, sir.
30.
30, sir.
30. So it means that C is equal to 30 and it will return the C value, right? It will return C. So now the C value has become 30. Clear? So C is equal to 30 and it has been returned to the C. The value 30 has been returned to the C. And after completion of this, what will happen?
It will go to the fourth row.
No. Yes, it will runs the 8th line and it will search where the MUL function is there and it will go to the MUL function and it will see how many argument has been passed. 2 argument has been passed here and here 2 values has been given. So one value is the output of the another function, that is C. So here the value that actually we are going to pass is 30, 30. Have you understand this line?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So it means that E is equal to MUL, the value of the function operation, the value of an output of an addition function, it will be considered as an input of the multiply function. So how it will pass is MUL is equal to 30, 30. So it will go to that. So C will become 30 and D will become 30. So E is equal to 30 into 30. The value will be 30 into 30. The value will be
900, sir.
yes, 900. So E will become 900 and we are returning this E value, that is 900 to E. So it means that E has now become as 900. So what the 9th step will be, so 2 function has been executed and what the 9th step will be, print E. The final E value will be printing over there, right? Clear about this? One function output is the another function input. So this is the basic concept, function composition. You want to collect one of the function output and you want to insert that particular output in the another function input values. Clear? Any doubts in this?
No doubt, sir.
So you can expect minimum of 8 marks in this question in your university point of view. For this particular topic, that means function composition, you can expect minimum of 8 marks, which consists of 4 marks question or a 2 mark question, whatever it may be. You can expect minimum of 8 marks in this particular unit. Only this condition want to be mentioned clearly, that one function output is becoming another function input. So this is the case. You can write this example or you can do some other example, whatever it may be. But the thing is, you want to insert an input by the form of one of the output of the particular function. Yes, so we will move with another one example also. Which line will be executed first?
Seventh line.
Yes?
Sir, 11th line.
No.
Sir, seventh line, sir.
7th line, yes. In this program, you want to find out that whether any user input is available or not. Any other program, in number of program, you want to first search into that program that any user input is specified or not. So in this case, the user input has been specified over here. So definitely that 7th line, that user input line want to be executed. So here the 7th line will be executed, that A value we want to give. And again, B value you want to give. So I have already given here the A value is 4 and B value is 2. And after that, the 9th line will be executed or the 10th line will be executed.
Sir, 10th line.
What is the 10th line?
Sir, assigning the average is a sum, sir. In 9th line, it will add the A and B.
No. So
No, sir,
here,
ninth line.
9th line will be executed. You just imagine that in the 10th line, what is the process is AVG is equal to AVG of sum. It means that I am passing an argument value here. So we, in this sum value, we don't know what is the sum value, right? After doing this sum function and after getting the sum value only, this line will be executed. So in the ninth line, what will happen is sum is equal to sum of a comma b. It means that we are calling a function sum, and it will go directly to the sum function, and it will give an input as a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 4, whatever we have declared here, whatever we are getting an input from the user, right?
Yes, sir.
So here what will happen? A is equal to 4 and B is equal to 2. So here the operation will be occur here that sum is equal to A plus B. It means 6, right? So we are returning the value 6. So again we are returning the value to the sum as 6. So now what will happen? The sum value will become 6. And after getting the value, this function output will become the another function input. So this is the function composition. So this function, we got an output as 6, and that 6 will become the another function input. So here what will happen is AVG equal to average of 6. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts in this? Yes. So what it means is we are passing an argument value that 6, and it will look into the function name where in this program where the AVG function has been applied over there, and it will go to the function AVG. And here what will happen is sum is equal to 6, it will assign, and here in this line average is equal to 6 divided by 2. So the average value will be
3.
3. So the 6 divided by 2, and we get the AVG is equal to 3. And in the sixth line, what will happen is return AVG. It means we are going to return the value to the from the function. Its value is 3. So it will return the value. Now what will happen is AVG value will become as AVG is equal to 3. Likewise, it will happen. And in the 11th step, what will happen? Print the average is this AVG value will be printing in the output form, right? Yes.
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Any doubts in this function composition?
No, sir.
No. Any doubts? You can text me in the chat box if you are having any doubts. No messages for there. No. So yes. So this is the basic thing, function composition. You can go with this two particular example. That will be fair enough. If you are going, if they are asking in two mark question, you just explain about the function composition, and you can give any one of an example here. If they are asking in an 8-mark question, you just explain about the function composition, and you can explain this line of code, and each and individual line of code you can explain what is happening in each and individual line of code when they are asked in this 8-mark question. If they are asking in 2-mark question, well and good, you can write the code and you can give you the explanation. That will be very fine. If they are asking in 8-mark question, you just give an explanation about not each and individual line. You give an explanation about whatever the lines are very important in this. You can give the explanation about that particular line. Clear? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So when was the BSPP exam? Don't know.
3rd February, sir.
Feb 3rd.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So before that we will have 2 classes. So in that 2 classes we will discuss about the regression. So in the regression I have mentioned you that I will explain you this regression concept while I am explaining the Tower of Hanoi problem. I hope so you have remembered that. Yes? Not explained. I told that I will explain you in the upcoming unit that what is the main function of the regression. So in this tower of Hanoi problem, you just see the algorithm, whatever I am given in your tower of Hanoi problem. I use the regression keyword and I have done the algorithm. So this only one topic I want to take apart from the remaining thing. So this string, we have already discussed the string concept and string operations and all. So again, we will discuss about some of the particular strings, and we having another topic is array. So we already given the introduction about this unit, these topics. So only the thing is, I have explained deeply in the second unit itself. So that is the problem. So we will go through with this all these operations, and whether you have received all the subject question banks.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
the
sir.
subjects. All the subjects.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Received. So no need of PSPP and all, right? So no one were asking about the question banks also. So you can directly write your exams.
Sir, no, sir. Send the question bank, sir.
So that's why. So whenever I am taking the initiative, then your people are responding. Then. So how many questions are maximum given to